As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 70 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett and I am joined as always by my co-host Andy. And how are you this week, mate?
I'll be honest, I am £7 worse off because I had...
As in like money or weight?
As in money, because...
Okay.
And £7 from stress as well. I had an incident in Tesco Express the other day, and it's shaken me to my very core. So I went away to did a bit of work away this week in Bournemouth, and at 9 o'clock on the night that I stayed over, I realised I'd forgotten my toothpaste. So I had to make a last minute dash to the Tesco Express to buy some.
£7?
Well, this is what absolutely shocked me. So I went and picked up some Sensodyne because, as you will probably agree with Adidas or whatever, you stick to the brands that you like, and you like them for that's all the reason you need to give us, because you like them. I love Sensodyne.
And as we're old, we need it for our sensitive teeth.
That's why I can't. I'm working on being able to eat ice cream one day, so I need as much Sensodyne. That's why I brush my teeth 18 times a day. And I put it on the counter because I'd seen that the price was £4.50, and I thought, well, that's still a bit excessive, but okay. So I put it on, and I thought, well, beggars can't be choosers here. I need some toothpaste, or it's a night of being like a zombie from 28 years later. And I put it on the thing, £7.50. I literally went back over to the toothpaste section. I'd read the club cards point section thing.
Have you not got a club card?
Well, Laura does, but I'm terrible with points cards because I don't have any, because I just find them stressful, which is ridiculous because everything Co-op at Lidl, well, not Lidl, but like Co-op, Tesco, those sorts of places, they encourage you, don't they, to have an account.
Yeah.
But I can't be bothered.
Well,
but
why don't you put the app on your phone and just log into Laura's?
I don't know because I could do. I always pretty much always drive anyway, so I could put the little key fob thing on my key ring, and I've even got one.
If you don't want the app and you don't want to have the hassle of logging in, if you just get Laura to take a screenshot of her,
I know
QR
she said
code
this to me,
and just send it you as a photo and put it in a folder of all the cards.
I know all this now because I've read the riot act from my wife, who literally accused me of being the most idiotic person ever that's ever been born, because I could have easily saved myself £3 and ended up spending £7.50 on toothpaste. And I saw the price and I just thought, they've had me here, but I've got no choice. I could probably spend half an hour downloading the app and creating an account, but I can't bother. And it turns out, yes, I could have just texted Laura then and there and said, send me a screenshot of your club card thing. I'll get it half price. But I didn't think quickly enough. I was in too much a fit of rage, and I just wanted convenience and I wanted speed. So I wanted I just wanted to get home and bury my head in the sand, basically, because I couldn't believe I'd spent that much money on toothpaste.
See, supermarkets are naughty with that, because there was a time when it was just these things are on offer. This is the price you can have on offer. Whereas now, to get the offers, you have to be signed up to their points account. Like what's called Tesco's they started doing club card prices alongside normal offers, and now they've got rid of the normal reduced offers, and it's just club card prices. But for ages, Sainsbury's, because they do Nectar card rather than a Sainsbury's point card, they always had offers, and then you also got Nectar points as well. But they've changed to the same, so you can only get the discounts if you've got a Nectar card. So they do, like Sainsbury's do a pizza offer. I don't know if you have ever had any of their made-in-store pizzas.
Not for I haven't for a while, no.
But they used to.
You've piqued my interest already, because pizza and an offer. Please continue. Yeah. I'm listening.
So they do an offer, and I think it's about £8, and you get 2 of the big pizzas and a bottle of Coke for £8. So it saves you about £6, which is pretty good.
It's 11:15 in the morning. All I want now is a pizza.
Get the offer. 2 seconds.
What's going on?
My cats were just having a bit of a wrestle and have knocked loads of stuff over.
Oh God! Who's the offender?
Oh, Boba, of course.
It's always Boba, isn't it?
Yeah. He's the big bully. Mix is only tiny compared to him, so yeah.
Shocking.
Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so they do it as an offer, but now you can only get that offer if you've got a Nectar card. So I didn't have a Nectar card. Went and got the pizzas, got to the till, scanned it all through, and the offer didn't come up. And I was like, what's going on here? And asked the woman on the tills, and she was like, I don't know, have you scanned your Nectar card? And I was like, I haven't got a Nectar card. And now they've changed it, so you can only get that offer if you've got a Nectar card.
Do you ever fill your car up? Have you got a BP up by you? Do you ever go to a BP garage?
No.
So
we have got one, but I don't go there because it's more expensive than Sainsbury's or Tesco.
Yeah, I normally go there out of, again, necessity, really, rather than making a beeline to go there. But there's one not far from where we live. In fact, there's one up by you, and I think has it got an M&S in it? Because our one's got an M&S in it, and if it's one of them where you go and you've spent about £8 and you've bought like a loaf of bread and a pint of milk, and you're like, how is it? Not even any toothpaste. You're like, I don't know how this has happened, but it's one of them. And is there one up by you by Beerley?
Bordsley Garage.
Bordsley, yeah. And they do, by the way, if it's an M&S, sometimes they've got this thing called got the word bean in it. Bean.
Oh yeah.
Bean.
No,
what's
what's Wild
the
Bean Cafe.
The Wild Bean Cafe, yes. Now they sell these packs of cookies, and they are life changers. So they do triple choc cookies. And there was a time, a bit Partridge-esque, when he was addicted to his Toblerones, where I was literally addicted to these things. And I couldn't drive past this garage because fortunately I don't have to drive past it anymore. But there was a point when I would drive past it every day and I would stop off. This is pre-running days. And I wondered why I'd put 4 stone on. There was a point of time where 5 days a week, I'd stop off for a latte straight away. That's not really the best thing to be drinking at once a day. And a pack of cookies. And they'd all be gone by the time I'd got to work, which is Malvern. So that's about 1,500 calories, isn't it? Maybe more.
Yeah, you've got at least were they like the big cookies like you get from Tesco's and stuff? That's at least 250, 300 calories a cookie.
It was terrible. It was really bad. But I was like, I don't know what it is that was inside these cookies. And they've still got hold on me as well. I still drive past that place and I have to physically restrain myself. I sometimes go late at night when I know that they've not got them and the fresh bakery bit anymore. But then I see them in the reduced section. And I have to get them anyway, so I end up getting them cheaper. But anyway, my point was originally about BP Petrol. What really annoys me is I signed up to one of their card system account things, and you scan. They say, have you got an app? And you scan your app, and they're still in 2025 giving you a paper receipt with your points on. And I don't know if you're the same as me. If it's paper, it's going in the bin. I can't handle. I can't give that to the tax man. I can't give that as evidence as my, that's no good to anyone. I'm not going to hold on to that receipt and in 4 days time when I need to fill up again or 6 days or whatever. But, I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to bring back my receipt again because I'll get 13 pence towards my next one. So they just give you these paper copies on paper. So if I was a professional thief, I would hang out at a forecourt BP garage and just rummage through the bins and then collect those receipts. And then when I filled it with fuel, I'd probably have loads of money off my.
So a professional thief goes through
Not a bit.
bins.
An amateur thief, then. A semi-pro. Semi-pro.
Yeah, it's not like back in the day. It's not like back in the day, is it, when they used to give you little stickers, stamps to go onto a stamp card, and you used to collect all the stamps at the petrol station, and then you could swap your stamps for certain things. My mum and dad got a full what's called like dinner service of plates and bowls and everything, and I'm sure they've still got some of the plates and bowls because they used to be in the camper van.
Really?
So we've still got some from back in the 80s and early 90s that they got through points.
What incidentally, what year did you pass your driving test in?
Oh, quite late, because I took my motorbike test first and had a motorbike.
You got a motorbike?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know this. This is news to me.
So when I was 16, I got my provisional license for a motorbike. So I had a 50cc motorbike, and then when I was
that's a moped.
Well, no,
yeah, scooter.
Okay. It wasn't a scooter. No, it was a like a trail bike.
Like a scrambler sort of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing. It was a Yamaha DT50.
Okay.
And I had that when I was 16, and then when I was 19, I took my full bike test, so passed my bike license, and then had a motorbike for a few years. And I didn't take my car test until I'd finished uni, and I started teaching because I needed a car to get to and from work. So I think I passed my car test in 2003.
Same. I was 2003.
I think. Yeah. I'm sure it was around there. Yeah.
No, I was 2004. I took my first test in 2003.
Or was it 2004?
How many times did you pass first time?
Yeah, passed first time.
That's annoying. I passed third time.
Third. What did you do wrong on your first two?
First one, 2 majors. That didn't go well. First test was in the driving range. 2 majors, yeah. First test, I'm 17 now, so it's over half my life ago, so I can't quite remember. One of them, I tell you what made me laugh. You'll like this. I even said to the examiner, because I was trying to engage him in conversation and see if I could get him on my side. I even said to him, only a fool would break the 2-second rule. And I was less than 2 seconds behind the person in front of me. No, I hadn't doubled the braking distance because it was raining. That's it. Yeah. So I was less than 4 seconds behind him. And I even said to him, this will get some brownie points here. Tell you what, Mr. Examiner, this is what you'll like to hear. Only a fool would break the 2-second rule. And then he went in the back of someone. And then my second major on that one was I'd pulled into one of those do you know the test centre up in Redditch? It was in it was back in an industrial estate, as I remember. Or it's just by the Palace Theatre, and it's not far away.
No, it's by the train station.
Well, all I remember was going up a couple of side streets en route to the dreaded reverse park, which everyone had to do. And that's what I was really, really worried about. And it was on my mind because my instructor was saying, you're going to have to reverse park. You're going to have to reverse park. And coming 30 seconds before that, I turned into the test centre and I knew I'd blown it because I basically cut someone up. a white van was coming the other way, and I thought I had enough time to get in. And I went in, and I saw the examiner thank the guy for waiting. I thought I've blown it, haven't I? So yeah. And the second test I did, I got something like 16 minors. Well, I think you're allowed 15. I was like, mate, come on! Just because I didn't get into third quick enough, or something like that. So then I failed that one, and then my third test I passed quite with flying colours. I only got about 3 minors on my third test.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, do you remember filling
the 21st night of September?
of Matt Hember. Do you remember filling up with petrol for the first time? Because I was so petrified putting the wrong one in. I vividly remember the first time I filled it with petrol, it was 69.9 pence a litre.
Wow.
That's how cheap it was
Yep.
in 2003 or 4.
Yep. It's crazy,
So,
isn't it?
yeah, that was.
I mean, it's what now, 140 a litre where we are.
Yeah. So, you tell me you're pushing middle age if you know without telling me that we're just moaning about
About the price of toothpaste,
price of petrol. Everything. Talking about our driving test half our life ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realise you were well into your motorcycling then. So
Yeah. So
did you have a proper bike at one point?
yeah. Well, I had a another trail bike when I passed my test, but I put supermoto wheels on it and road tires. So it was like a cross between a off-roader but with road wheels.
I bet your neighbours loved you.
Yeah.
I bet those things are quite noisy, aren't they?
Yeah. It was a 4-stroke as well, so it sounded quite beefy. I've still got it, but I haven't ridden it for years. But when I was little, my dad used to race motocross.
Oh, right.
So every weekend was going to a different scramble track somewhere to go and watch my dad race motocross.
No way.
Yeah, and then as I got a little bit older, my brother and his mate started riding, because my brother rode motocross as well, so like he was doing it as well whilst we were watching. But then they got into rather than riding solos, they got into sidecar racing. So my brother and his mate started doing sidecar, and my dad and my brother-in-law was his passenger. So they were racing every weekend as well, and that was that was up until my early teens. We were doing that.
Right.
I'm sure it was about that anyway.
So is that where you get your
that's
competitive streak from?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But that's where my ideals of having a motorbike came from. I never got into doing the motocross myself, but I always wanted a motorbike before I wanted a car, but then got more and more into my cars.
I can't believe I accused you of having a scooter. You're way too alternative, and you're alternative now, let alone how alternative you must have been when you were a grungy teenager. I can't imagine you on a Vespa style scooter.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't have suited back then.
You were way too edgy. Me, I'm about as edgy as a Satsuma. But can I, while we're on the subject of speedsters, slight segue.
Oh, go on then. Oh, they have arrived.
Look at these bad boys.
Bit of an ASMR.
Oh, yeah, baby. They're absolutely beautiful. So I still haven't worn these yet.
Have you not running them?
No.
So my next question then is, as you're bringing forward your 5K attempt, are they going to be the shoe of choice for that?
Absolutely. So,
yes,
these shoes, which if you're listening to this, you wouldn't have had a clue what we've just chatted about for the last minute. I've just held up to the screen my brand new shoes that I've spent 180 quid on, by the way. Look at this. Sports Direct. This is how you know you've bought from Sports Direct. Look at the state of that. Look at the state of that box. It's an absolute shambles.
Those have been thrown around the warehouse.
Yeah, and look, the box is all bent and out of shape, and it's all... These are returns, I'm sure of it. I would absolutely bet my life that these have been returned, but anyway, you never know. Yes, to answer your question, these will be my 5K shoe of choice. Now, I am not one of those people who buys a lot of shoes. I wish I was, but I'm somewhat financially restricted. So what I'm thinking, my thinking is, obviously I've got Valencia at the end of the year, and I probably would like a new marathon shoe for that. And also I've got this 5K, and in the next few months, obviously I'd like to make some dents on my 5K as well. The amount of people I see running 5Ks up to the marathon distance in this shoe, I just feel like, and bear in mind that I do like Adidas, I've run well in Adidas before, I just feel like it was a no-brainer, because I was looking at the Puma Fast Star 3s. It doesn't help that they're not in stock anywhere.
Yeah.
I was going to get them just for my 5Ks and 10Ks. But then I think, well, I probably wouldn't train in them. When I retire them, I probably wouldn't really wear them much. So for me, they just wouldn't really have much of a place in my shoe rotation. And then I think about the Pro 4s, and they're so, what's the word? Dexterous. They're so, you can use them in different environments. I just think for me, it's almost a no-brainer. I get on really well with Adidas. So yeah, why wouldn't I buy those Pro 4s? You've run really well in them. So like Will, the Woo has given them a glowing review. He runs sub 3 in Barcelona. Chloe Hamard wears them for 5Ks and 10Ks.
Yeah.
I think she does. So many people I know wear them for 5Ks. And Merv from Club went for a half marathon trial at Parkrun wearing his Pro 4s, ended up getting a 5K PB, went sub 18.
Yeah.
So yes, it just had to be the Pro 4.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. They are really versatile. I wouldn't have raced a 5 or 10K in the Pro 3s. Although I loved the Pro 3s, they were just smooth and perfect for like marathon pace.
Yeah.
Whereas the Pro 4, they really do feel like they would work well at a 5 and 10K pace. They feel more snappy and get you up on your toes a bit quicker. So I can imagine them being really good for the shorter distances as well as the marathon.
When I've put them on around the lounge, when you lean forward, it feels like the Vaporfly to me. It feels like that sensation of I'm going to fall over if I put too much weight further forward, so much more than the Pro 3.
Yeah, because they've changed where the rocker is.
Yeah, it's so much. Yeah, it's so much steeper now, isn't it?
Yeah. So they've made it so it gets you up on your toes and for that push off a bit quicker than it did in the Pro 3s.
And it also feels lighter than the Pro 3 as well. I don't know if that's me being, wishful thinking or not, but in my hand, it literally feels lighter.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that I love this colorway as well. So this is a bit. I mean, we've talked about toothpaste a bit, but this does have a bit of a
Aquafresh.
This does have an Aquafresh look to it, doesn't it? But for me, out of all the colorways, I think this is my favorite, which is the black.
It's the Berlin colorway.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that until I bought it. It says Berlin there on the heel. Because I thought it was I'd have the this too shall pass or whatever it is.
No, they change on all the different colorways.
Yeah, mine says something like follow the line or something. I don't know if you can read that. So, and but yeah, I just think this sort of the spray effect on the midsole looks really cool, and it does look very.
It's the splashing of the blue line as you run along and follow that line.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I suppose splashing up onto your shoe.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? But yeah, I love Light Strike Pro. I love my Evo SLs.
How much different is that formulation of Light Strike Pro though compared to the Pro 3s and the Evo SL?
I'll tell you this time tomorrow once I've run in them, but it feels, I don't know. If the Evo SL is anything to go by, it just feels like such a nice block of foam.
Well, the Evo SL has got the same Light Strike Pro as the Pro 3.
Oh, right. I thought it was a Pro 4.
No.
Right, okay.
So the Evo SL, the Light Strike Pro, is pretty much exactly the same midsole as the Pro 3, but without the rods. That's why it feels softer. Whereas that light strike Pro in the Pro 4 is a completely different type of light strike.
Can I just show you this as well? I'll put it by the microphone so you can really hear it. But Kieran, I was chatting to Kieran Turner about this, and it wasn't like a beware because this might happen. He's just sort of said, look what happened to my mate's Pro 3s. Now, he sent me a video of his mate who has just returned his Pro 4s because the rod snapped. Hopefully it was a one-off, but listen, let me just see if I can turn it up to this. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that absolutely bonkers? So,
That's
I mean,
mad.
It sounds like they've all gone at the same time, doesn't it? Like, all because is there 5 that sort of mimic the foot almost, like the metatarsals almost?
Yeah. But they're different again in the Pro 4 compared to the Pro 3. They're a completely different like shape of rods and plate.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So the way that it works and the way that it's formed in the midsole is different.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to wearing them because it's been a while since I've bought a brand new speedy fast shoe.
Yeah.
And whether or not it'll be a record-breaking day for me, I don't know.
The first time I wore mine, I was blown away. They're completely different to the Pro 3. They're not even like a similar shoe. They are completely different.
So will those Pro 3s still have any room in your rotation at all anymore? Would they be long run shoe for you maybe? Or
possibly, yeah. I mean, I've got one pair which are almost like to their lifespan. Although they'd probably go forever, to be honest. But I tend to take shoes up to about 500 mile, about 450, 500 mile. And I'd say I've got one pair that are almost at there, but they'd go on for a lot longer than that. And then I've got one pair which have got probably 150 mile in, and I've got a brand new pair that I've never been on.
You've got a brand new pair of Pro 3s?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What colourway are them? Because I know you've got your turquoise ones.
Yeah, I've got
they were your Manchester ones. Yeah.
Well, they were the first year Manchester ones. Then for the second year at Manchester, I bought the cream with the silvery black stripes, same colourway as your Takumi 10s.
Yes, yeah.
So I had those for the second year at Manchester, and then I bought the pink pair of the Pro 3s just because they were pink and red, which is my favourite colourway ever.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even need a new pair, and I just wanted them. So
they will age deliciously. One day you'll put them on Vinted and probably get about 900 quid for them.
Yeah. But because, so I've got those, but I don't. Yeah, I might use them, but now I've got a pair of the Pro 4s. I can't see myself going back to the Pro 3s. They are that much better.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder where they'll go from here. Like, because obviously if you got 2 marathons out of the Pro 3, they must have not made a new iteration for 2 years or so. I wonder if Adidas will leave it a good while until the Pro 5 comes out. Well, or will they do the opposite? I don't know.
They did the same with the Pro 3 because every other brand were releasing a brand new shoe every year, whereas the Pro 3s Adidas had for about 2.5 years.
Yeah, but I mean, from a brand's point of view, if you think, I mean, let's just say for argument's sake that they're the most popular marathon shoe. They're probably not really, because you think about Alpha Flies and there's other brands catching up. But let's just say for argument's sake they are in the top 3 marathon shoes.
Yeah.
Would you, if you were Adidas, with the technology they've put into the shoe, would you try and develop it again and bring out and stay at the top of the game? Or would you almost let the other shoes catch up with you? So by the time that you release the Pro 5, you can leapfrog everybody again, and hopefully you've made
Yeah.
a better shoe.
But I think that's partly why they did the Pro Evo.
Yeah.
So they could play around with technology and push in the envelope without having to release a new version of their standard marathon shoe.
Yeah.
So, like with the Pro Evo 1, they tried out this new formulation of Light Strike
Yeah.
Pro. They tried out the new rods, and all of that technology then went into the Pro 4s. So
Right.
the
Okay.
Pro 4s is the rods 2.0, which is the same as what's in the Pro Evo.
Right.
And they basically use the Pro Evo to test out all of these things and then put them into their main commercial shoe. So yeah. So although the Pro 3 was out for so long and they had about 20 million different colorways, because
Yeah.
that's the way that they kept people buying them, was just changing the
Yeah.
colorways and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they were testing out all of the new technology to put into the Pro 4 before they actually made the Pro 4 to make sure it was the best shoe they possibly could make.
Yeah. 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 It's the Pro 3 was good. I did enjoy running in it. Do you know what? I don't. I did get a PB in it. Yeah, I got I ran a good Newport marathon
Yes.
in my Pro 3s, but they've got now when I use them on long runs. Well, when I put them on my feet, they've got a squeak to them. Is that normal? One shoe has got this annoying squeak with
Yeah.
every step that I take, and it's so loud as well. Well, it's loud to me.
Yeah. But
So,
bet it's still not as loud as a pair of Alpha Flies.
well, no, it's still a million decibels quieter than that. But I don't know if that's the shoe falling to pieces slightly, or it's early stages of it breaking down, or it's just a bit of
It
compressed air. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it
it was.
could be anything. Could be anything.
Yeah,
It could be a slight. It could be the rods moving within the foam
mm,
slightly and squeaking against the foam. It could be
yeah.
a number of things. But
But when I was choosing, because I was just thinking then, I really like the colorway of that purple. I think it's just I suppose it's purple. What I went for, and the colorway choices for the Pro 4s, there were quite a few I could have gone for. There was a
yeah,
couple I wasn't so keen on. It was basically between the turquoise ones, which I think look
yeah,
absolutely phenomenal, and there's a white pair with like a lime green stripe. Have you seen that one? I think it's lime
mm.
green, which I think look really, really nice. But the ones I thought, I don't know if I could get away with that, were the white on white, or the sort of cream on cream almost.
yeah,
Because I just think there's something really savage about running in white on race day. I don't know what it
yeah,
is, but there's all black, because you see so much color on a race day. You don't really always see black or just white. So I
yeah,
don't know. It's something about that, but I ended up going for these, and I'm really pleased with these colors, because I think they do look quite cool. So
yeah.
these will most probably be my Valencia shoe, I would have thought.
Nice,
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, the only colorway I think looks really odd in the Pro 4s is the black with the white sole.
Black with the, oh yes,
It
yeah,
looks
yeah,
so
okay.
weird. Yeah, I really don't like that.
Yeah, because you've got the white stripes that go over onto the sole as well, haven't you?
Yeah, which it's a bit bizarre.
Mm.
Talking of new shoes, have you seen the new? There's two new really high stack shoes. So obviously illegal shoes. So max cushioning shoes that have been released. Well, they're being released. One is the Prime X3 Strung
Okay,
from Adidas.
I'm gonna have a look at this while you say them, because I don't think I've seen these.
So
Yeah, okay.
the Prime X3 Strung, which looks crazy. It's got, because the one bit of foam in between the two plates, they've done a different color to the rest of
Oh,
the midsole, and it looks
blimey! Is that
crazy.
is that is that the one you were
That's
referencing?
them, yeah,
They look really funky.
yeah. So
Wow.
they might be interesting. So when I'm back running, I might be tempted to try those out, because I really enjoyed the first Prime X. I never tried the Strung or the Prime X2 Strung, but I am very tempted by those. And then the other one is the Nike Vomero Plus. No, not Plus, Premium. The Nike Vomero Premium. And apparently they have got a 55mm stack height at the heel.
What's legal limit? 39?
Yeah, no, 40 is the legal limit. And the Prime X are 50mm.
Yeah, because this is 39mm written on it.
39, yeah. So, but the legal limit is on the sample shoe size. So the sample shoe size, that's what they work off. So anything over that size could be over the legal limit, but obviously stack height changes with the size of the shoe.
Now,
because of the way that the midsole is made.
Again, the difference between the Adidas Prime X Strung 3 and this is ridiculous. This looks like something Marty McFly would wear in Back to the Future 6.
Yes, it does.
And I would say that is borderline disgusting. Like, I think that looks silly. That, to me, just looks like a really, I don't know, for want of a better word, crap. I don't think that looks particularly good looking.
Yeah, it's a weird shoe, isn't it?
It looks like something like the school kids. Looks like something the Wellard kids at school would wear. The kids that sit on the back row of the bus.
They're the new Nike Air Max.
Yeah, basically. I don't know. I don't really like the look of them.
Yeah, because Nike have changed the way that their running shoe system works. So do you know how they used to have all the different names of all the different types of shoes? So you had the Invincibles, you had the Infinity Run, you had the Vomero, you had the Pegasus, you had the Alphafly, Vaporfly, all that. They've changed their standard shoes now. They've still got the Vaporfly and the Alphafly as a separate race day shoe section, but they've now got the Pegasus, which is your daily shoe.
Yeah.
So they've got the Pegasus Plus, and the Pegasus Premium.
Yeah.
Then they've got the Vomero, which is your max cushioning.
Mm.
And they've got the Vomero Plus, and the Vomero Premium. Yeah. And then I think, is it the Structure they've got, which is the third one. And they've got the Structure Plus, and the Structure Premium, which is your stability shoe. So instead of having loads of different names for all the different types of shoe, they've just got 3 different names of shoes and then a plus version and a premium version.
I've never heard of that in my life. The Nike Structure 26 looks to be the latest one. That's actually quite a good looking shoe. That doesn't look too bad. That looks quite nice, actually. But I don't know what it is. But don't tell me something's premium. Don't put the word premium in the name of a product, because I just straight away think it's probably not that good if you're going to have to tell me how good it is.
Yeah.
And it's also confusing, isn't it? Like, why do I need the Premium Plus and then the Premium Plus Mark II or whatever it is?
Yeah.
What is the difference between the Pegasus Plus and the Pegasus Premium?
Yes. So the Pegasus is it's been their standard daily shoe for years and years and years, and it's got inside the midsole, it's got a air zoom unit in the front and in the back, but you can't see it. It's like an encased air zoom unit within the midsole. Right. Then on the Plus, it's got Zoom X foam rather than their standard React foam.
Yeah.
And then in the Premium, it's got a full length air zoom unit. Have you seen those? Okay. The Pegasus Premium?
No. The one with the white stripe looks like a bowling shoe. Yeah.
Well, have a look at it. It's got an air zoom unit that runs the whole length of the shoe. So rather
the Pegasus
than having
Premium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, no. that's the premium. The Pegasus Plus is the one I've seen with the red stripe up the front.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So that's what
Yes.
used to be the Pegasus Turbo, but they've now called it the Pegasus Plus. And then
And
the
what was the one
premium,
you just said was called the Pegasus Premium?
and it's got a air zoom unit down the whole length of the midsole.
And this is the one that was quite heavy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the reason I know this is because when I went to do the Bourton on the Water 10K, a few of us sat and had coffee afterwards, and one of the guys was Tim Gross, and
Yes.
he had brought his for Andy Rayner, that obviously got the same size feet, for him to go and have a run around the block. And we all passed the shoes around. It was very weird. we all had a feel and go, oh, that's light, or oh, that's heavy. And I remember feeling the size, was it like 14 or 13 or whatever feet size they've got? I remember this thing felt like a house brick. It felt so heavy. So yeah, that's the Peg Premium. And what's the purpose of that one then? Is that obviously an easy day?
That's like a daily, but super comfort daily.
Yeah, okay. Because you would expect your easier shoes to be slightly heavy, which is why this. So I've still got my packed bag here from my trip away, which is why this is such a good shoe. Because this is the Evo SL. And right, I was thinking this the other day. People are going to think that I am just a copycat of you because I keep buying all the same shoes you buy. But they're just good.
Yeah,
they're just really good.
We buy those shoes, and it's because they work.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got an arm sleeve done. I've booked myself in to get both, and I've got a little Kipchoge tattoo on my leg. But I'm not copying you at all. But yeah, they're just so good. And as daily trainers, these things are so comfy. But the good thing is, I know some people, fair enough, don't like the Evo SL, but these things really can do it all. I would go as far as to say, if you are someone, there aren't many of these people in 2025 anymore, that only want one pair of shoes to run ever, I'd buy them. Because you could probably get a 5K PB in them. You could probably do a fast park run in that. You could do 23 miles, because that's what I've done. Sunday long run. You can do tempo stuff. You can do interval stuff. You can do track. You can do grass workouts. You can even take it on the trail, because look, I've done nearly 300 mile in these. And apart from the discolored bits, they hardly look worn at all. So it's so hard wearing that. I know it's like, well, I don't know how they do it, but I don't know if that's exposed foam or not. But the Continental rubber outsole is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's such good value for money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a lot of shoe that you get for that money.
Yeah.
Compared to other shoes for the same price. That is crazy. And
I wonder if Adidas have shot themselves in the foot because they've created this shoe that stops you buying 3 or 4 other shoes.
Yeah.
That they also sell. Because yes, a Takumi would be nice for certain things, or yes, an Adios 9 or the Bostons. But really, you could probably get away with just having the Evo SL for all those sorts of runs. Not everyone would agree with that, but you probably could.
Yeah, I've had several emails and notifications from the Adidas app recently advertising the Evo SL, but as a fashion lifestyle shoe, not as a running shoe.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, because they look cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they are basically the new Boost, aren't they? The new Ultra Boost.
Yeah. Again, like I said a few weeks ago, I nearly wore mine to a wedding. But the only reason I didn't is because they were still muddy.
Oh, have you seen one of the latest colorways of the Evo SL, which looks incredible? It's a white shoe with blue stripes, but it's got a gum sole, and it looks so good.
Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Evo SL blue stripes.
Yeah, it's white shoe, blue stripes, but a gum sole.
Oh yeah, that looks lovely.
And gum soles just look awesome on shoes.
Yeah, that looks really, really nice. So is a gum sole like a beige color?
Yeah, that brownie
tan.
Color,
yeah, I can see it. It's on Pro Direct, of course, 130 quid. It almost looks like a like an indoor squash shoe or something like that.
Yeah.
Something you've probably wear. Oh, it looks so cool. It's almost like a cork color, isn't it? Underneath,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that looks really nice. But I've just seen another color that I really liked. So the stripes were not lime green. I got it wrong. They were turquoise. They're the shoe that I really nearly bought.
So the same color as the Boston 13 they released and stuff.
Yeah, they look so good. But yeah, so that's why I bought the Pro 4s, because I really like the colorway, and
yeah, you're going to run fast in them.
I hope so. Yeah,
we look forward to Saturday afternoon finding out your new 5K PB.
Yeah, hopefully. So hopefully they'll do the business. But I've just realised we're nearly an hour in, and the only thing I've ticked off my list is toothpaste.
I've also noticed, just to go over this very quickly before we move on, you say toothpaste, and earlier I said toothpaste.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. So
I always thought that was a Bromsgrove and Redditch thing, that we said tooth.
Yeah.
And toothbrush.
Yeah.
Tooth. There's not many of us who say tooth. Do you say year or year?
Year.
You say year.
Yeah, year.
I always thought that was a Black Country thing. Years and years. Imagine trying to explain to someone. Imagine all those people that don't speak English as a first language, and you try and teach them the difference between like the word look and I can't really think of something else. Or like wood and wood. Why is there an L in the word wood? Oh, there just is. You just have to learn it.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. But, yeah, so spelling's number one, but also dialects around the UK and how many different dialects there are and how words sound completely different. So, as you said, like the word book that we would say up north, they'd said book.
Yeah.
It's in exactly. Book.
Is that Scary Spice?
Yeah.
Yeah. A book, yeah, because why not say it like that? That's how it's spelled, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Maybe we shouldn't get started on this.
No.
Slagging off the English language.
But it is confusing, the English language. It makes no sense, but at the same time, it does perfectly make sense.
Before we go down that rabbit hole, do you want to move on to some other topics? Because there are still quite a few things for us to get through.
So first thing I've got written down, just to go over running news, is George Mills last week. So 8 days after he broke the British 5,000 meter record, because last episode I talked about that, didn't I? The fact at the Diamond League he broke the British 5,000 meter record, running 12:46.59, which was incredible. 8 days later, so I think it was the Friday night or the Saturday after we recorded the pod last week, he ran a new PB in the 1500 and became the second British 1500 meter time of all time. The only person who is now faster than him is Josh Kerr.
Wow.
He knocked over 2 seconds off his previous PB and went under 3:30 for the first time, and he ran 3:28.36.
And what's Josh Kerr at?
I think he's run 3:27, I think.
Wow, so he's on some serious form then, isn't he, George Mills?
So in 8 days, not only did he run a new PB in the 5,000 meters and British record, he ran second Brit of all time in the 1,500 meters. So that means he's leapfrogged over Mo Farah, Seb Coe, Steve Cram, Steve Avett, all of those massive names. George Mills has now just leapfrogged them all and become second Brit of all time.
That's amazing. What a summer he's having. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I think he's very happy because he's proving that Paris last year, the Olympics, was just a bit of a blip. And he's proving what his form actually is and what he can actually do.
Yeah.
But yeah, incredible. Yeah, and that 1500 meter time makes him 14th of all time out of everyone ever.
Wow. Wow, that's
So
mega.
it's pretty impressive, isn't it? Second
Yeah,
Brit,
so
14th all time.
so if he can keep this form going for a couple of years and the Olympics 2028,
Yeah,
could be
fingers
big
crossed.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could have a
but
good race, couldn't we? He could be mixing it with the with Jakob.
yeah, and all the top boys, because now he's up there with Jakob, Josh Kerr, Jared Naguse, Cole Hocker. He's up there in those times now, so yeah, it
Yeah,
could be
brilliant.
a big showdown over the next couple of years, which would be
Yeah,
great.
brilliant. Yeah.
Hopefully, you never know if he does well at the British Champs as well. He might get to the World Champs, and he can fight it out in that as well. Because
Yeah,
obviously,
be good.
Josh Kerr being current world champion has got a bye straight into the World Champs. So he doesn't have to race British Champs in the 1500 meters because he'll go straight into the World Champs.
Right.
So, but George Mills will have to race. But Jake Whiteman is also back and getting back to fitness as well. So it could be really exciting for British 1500 meters this year.
Yeah, that's
Fingers
amazing.
crossed. But yeah, so that's that. And then the other one is something that happened last night that we spoke about on the pod last week, and that was breaking 4. Faith Kipyegon trying to go for the 4-minute mile. And a previous world record that she ran at the Diamond League was 4:07.64. And last night in Paris, for her breaking 4 attempt, she ended up running 4:06.42. So she knocked over a second off her world record, but she was still just over 6 seconds off the sub 4-minute barrier.
So can you tell us what that pace is in kilometres? Is it something like 2:30 a kilometre, something like that?
Oof, good question.
So what is it in miles? Is about close to, well, it's a 4-minute mile, isn't it?
It's like 4:06 a mile.
Yeah. But in kilometres, I bet you it's about 2:30-ish or something.
Hang on, let me have a look. I've got a conversion chart here somewhere.
It probably doesn't go down to 4:06 a mile, does it?
It does. No, it doesn't. It only goes down to 4:33.
Yeah,
which is 250 a kilometre.
Yeah, it's going to be fast, isn't it?
So
that's basically the fastest I've ever ran in my life for only a few seconds for 4 minutes. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? So pacing wise, did she have to do any thinking, do you think? Do you think she just
no.
Her paces.
So, did you watch it?
I watched it back, yeah.
Okay. So there was 11 pacers. 2 of them were female and 9 of them were male. The 2 females were British, actually. One was Georgia Hunterbell and one was Gemma Reekie. And then all the male pacers, they had some Kenyan runners, and then they had, I think the guy at the front was Elliot Giles, British runner. And then they had people like Cooper Teare, Grant Fisher was her main pacer, because apparently they'd been training all together, all the Nike athletes, and Faith had said she really liked Grant Fisher's cadence and the way that he ran. So she wanted him as like the main pacer to follow. So he was her main pacer. There was Stewie McSwain, the Australian runner, and several others as well, all running alongside. But there was several in front of her, a couple to the side of her, and several behind her. So she was like in the middle of a huddle, so she didn't have to think at all for the pacing, and there was also pacing lights as well that they could follow. But it was interesting because she looked fantastic for the first 800 meters, well, 809 meters. She looked fantastic and looked really smooth and looked comfortable. And then as soon as she started into that third lap, where it starts to get difficult in the mile, you could see her expression on her face change, and she started to show that she was working hard. And then in that last lap, she was grimacing and working really, really hard. But so she was 6 seconds over the 4 minutes, and she knocked over a second off her world record. It won't be an official world record. It won't be ratified because numerous things, like the pacers were male in the race, so it can't be ratified because of that and other things.
Well, it wasn't a race. It wasn't an official event.
Yeah, it was an official race and all sort of thing. It's a bit like Kipchoge's sub-2 marathon. Can't be a ratified world record because of the way that it worked. Yeah. But so it won't be a ratified world record, but she did run a world record. But I don't know whether she had a bad day, because I reckon she can run faster than that. So was it just a bad day, or was it mixture of a bad day and nerves, or was it the nerves and the whole thing that got to her? Because all of that attention and everything was pointed on her for that night.
Yeah.
And they had a big celebration and event before the 4-minute attempt. And was that pressure building? And then when she came out, everyone was looking at her. No one cared about anyone else. It was all on her. Whereas when she's in a race, yes, everybody's watching out for Faith Kipyegon to race, but they're also watching to see how everyone else does.
Yeah.
So there's not as much pressure, and you're not specifically going for a specific time. You're just going out there to run as fast as you can. But when it's all put onto you are there to run this specific time, and everyone is watching you, and every eyeball in that place and all across the world live is watching you, that's got to be a huge amount of pressure to put onto somebody.
Massive. Absolutely. So, and you're the face, you're the brand. Is almost pinning its hopes on you to do something for the first time ever.
Yeah. So did the pressure get to her, and that's why she didn't run as well as she could, or was it the pacing strategy? I don't think she went off too fast, because she went through the first 409 meters in 60 point something. So she was on pace for the first couple of laps, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. I reckon she can run faster, but I wouldn't be surprised if that pressure got to her.
Well, I'm just watching the. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm just watching the live stream back, and on the start line, she does actually look quite nervous.
Yeah.
And like you say, she must have, I don't know, she must have felt a huge amount of pressure, I would have thought. But I mean, these athletes are used to it, aren't they? Maybe this is slightly different.
They're used to it. As I say, at any race, you feel the pressure and you're nervous. But like I said, at a race, everybody's there to watch everybody racing, and the pressure isn't necessarily just on you to perform. It's a case of you going out there to compete against everybody else and race them and run as fast as you can. Whereas this event was, she's going to run this time. Watch this. Look how
it's a time trial. Yeah. And she's got no one to race against. And some people, I do believe, are good racers.
Yes.
Rather than, trainers, basically. And I wonder if, sometimes the best in you comes out when you're in a racing environment. Maybe maybe it makes no difference at all because it's only you. You know, you can only do what you can do on any given day. But just watching
And
this, I do quite like the. I mean, obviously they've almost probably had a dress rehearsal, but I really like the formation of the pacers because they
yeah,
run. So she's, to anyone that's not seen this, she's basically, if you can imagine, in the middle of a pack.
yeah,
And in front of her, she looks like she's got 5 or 6 male pacers who are running from lane 1 right out into lane 3 or 4. And I presume that's a aerodynamic thing, is
yeah.
it?
See, this is the thing. It's not like they could do a V formation to cut the wind for her like they did with Kipchoge in his 2-hour marathon.
Because she's running in
Because,
circles.
well, because she's on a track, unless people were running on the infield off the track, no one can be on her left because she wants to
Yeah,
run the shortest distance possible. She wants to run
yeah.
exactly 1,609 meters. So
And
to
not
run
another
that, you've got to
centimetre
run.
more.
Yeah. So to run that, you've got to run on the rail. So
Yeah,
if you're running on the rail, no one can be on your left because they
no.
would be on the infield and off the track. So it's a bit different with the wind blocking and the way that the pacers are formed around her. So they could only be on the outside of her.
So yeah, she's just coming up the. She looks like she's. I mean, she doesn't really give too much away because professional athletes don't really gurn like
No,
us mere mortals do in a
no.
race.
But
And we're giving it our all.
if you look at her on that last lap, her face does change completely, and she does look like she's really working hard.
She's coming. She's at 2:52 now, and she's on the home straight. So she comes round the third lap. There's the bell. It looks like she comes over in 3:01. She does 1,200
Yeah,
meters in 3:01. So with a monster of a kick on that last lap, it could have been possible.
yeah,
But I can't imagine how much that's her. So it looks like, and this fourth lap, for anyone that's not seen it, the pack almost starts to disintegrate a little bit. And some of the male athletes at the front really kicked on. And I
yes,
wonder if that was to hold pace, 4-minute mile pace.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they'd practice that no matter what, the people at the front went at the pace that she needed.
Yeah. And she's got 3 people with her, 5 people with her,
Yeah,
sticking to her like glue.
yeah. So Grant Fisher for the first 3 laps stayed on her right hand side and
Yeah.
like stayed with her to pace her, and then on that last lap he went in front of her so she could follow him
Yeah.
round to the finish.
Yeah. She looks good as well. I do. I
Oh
know I've been
yeah,
slagging Nike off and their rubbish trainers and stuff, but her kit is pretty cool. She's in a sort of
yeah,
like dark blue, really dark purple
yeah. Well,
kit.
it was all specially made for this attempt. So all of the pacers had special purple and pink singlets
Yeah.
for the race, which
Yeah.
were designed for this breaking four and in Faith Kipyegon's colours. That's
Yeah.
what she had, and then her kit. So she had a special pair of Nike Victory 2s. So she had the Victory Elite FK for her,
Yeah.
which had a bigger air zoom unit, a specially designed carbon plate just for her, 6 titanium spikes. Normally the Victory 2s only have 4 spikes, but they had 6, and they were titanium to keep the weight down. The upper was a specially constructed upper, and apparently the upper on its own weighed 3 grams, and that's the same weight as 3 paper clips.
Wow.
So the upper of the shoe was super light. Then she had a special speed suit that had these little nodules on, or nodes, for cutting through the air. She had a special headband. She had a 3D printed sports bra. It was all very technologically advanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great to watch, and still stupidly impressive
Yeah.
that she broke the world record. But I honestly think she can run faster. I think the moment got to her a little bit, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
who
a
knows?
very Very good attempt nonetheless.
Yeah.
And
Who
a
knows?
world record, but
Another
yeah.
attempt might happen at some time soon. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will wait
Yeah.
and find out.
Do you know what made me laugh at the end? She's just absolutely spent and she's on the floor. And then they all get her up. They all pick her up. And she's like, sort of gives a few hugs and she immediately goes back on the deck, doesn't she?
And the TV cameras are straight on her and they're trying to interview her. And she can't breathe. She's on the floor, absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that's part of it, isn't it? That's part of the show. If you put yourself forward for things like that, you've got to expect people to be like that. And
Kipchoge was there. I saw him give her a hug straight away.
Yeah.
It's weird seeing him not in his running kit, isn't it?
I know.
He was in a shirt. Top button done up and everything. Very formal.
Before the race, he said, and she's going to come through in 3:58. He was proper confident. But yeah, didn't quite happen. I reckon she can run faster. So we will wait and see what happens. But it was awesome to watch, and just having the confidence to say, yeah, I'm going to go for it. You've got to admire that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it takes somebody to say, I'm going to try and do it, for other people to then follow suit and go, yeah, I reckon I could have a go at that as well.
Yeah.
Because until Roger Bannister, when was it? 1950? Was it 1954 or 56 when Roger Bannister did the 4-minute mile? Before then, no one thought it was possible. And as soon as he did it, loads of people then broke it because they realised it was possible.
Yeah.
So
4-minute. Yeah, it was. You're right. 1954, May the 6th.
Yeah.
Had a track in Oxford. Yeah.
Because there was several people all over the world. There was a few different people all trying to break the 4-minute mile at the same time, but Roger Bannister got there first. And then I think it was like, it may have even been like a few days afterwards, someone broke his record and broke his time.
Oh, right. But no one remembers that, though.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the first to do it.
Well, I've just looked on this on YouTube, and it's recorded.
Oh, yeah, the 4-minute mile. Yeah, yeah.
There is, you can watch this. It's the Iffley Road track, which I've heard of. That must be a famous track, probably because of this. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes, all wearing what I imagine are club colours. Maybe they look like they're in white jerseys with red. Well, it's black and white, so I can't tell. So with 2 stripes, and 6 of them all go off. Yeah.
So he had pacers, but to make it a ratified world record, the pacers had to finish the race.
Right. Okay.
So although he left them and finished way before them, they had to finish the mile and finish the race for it to be official.
So just see if there's any commentary. Hang on. No, it doesn't look like there is. It looks like there's the original audio, though, if you do click on that link.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am just sorry. I've just realised I got my headphones in. I was watching that on loud. Yeah, this is amazing watching them go because they're fit. How many years ago is that? 60, 70? 2? 3?
Your maths is so good. I love it.
71 years. That is mental, isn't it? How fast they were running 71 years ago in plimsolls, basically.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had spikes back then. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they'd had spikes. Yeah.
Would they? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quite something watching. But anyway, I shall leave that playing. But can I just give a couple of shout outs for the weekend?
Yes, go for it.
Of people that are racing. So first of all, I want to wish a speedy recovery to Tom Holton, who is a regular listener of the channel.
Yep.
Who was just today texted and said he's not racing in the Derby half marathon. He was going to be racing it, but he said he's picked up an injury.
Oh no!
And yeah, so he won't be able to do it. So, but yeah, good luck to anyone that is doing the Derby half. Apparently, it's a good PB-able course, and a lot of people go and do the Ramathon.
Yeah,
for that reason.
Runs it every year, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. So I wonder if he'll be there. Yeah, but good luck to anybody who is racing Derby or anybody that else is racing anything else this weekend. But also, finally, I can officially wish Freddie runs.
Yay!
Who probably has got about 4 of our other podcasts to get through, so we probably won't even listen to this in time. But good luck for Endure 24. I've already seen him parked up in the queue, waiting to get in for his camping spot for the weekend. In is it Leeds? I think it's Leeds Endure 24. So awesome. So yeah, I think I remember him saying he wants around about 70-ish miles. I think it was maybe 75, which is a hell of a shift. So good luck, mate.
It is, yeah. That's incredible.
I think a lot of people will probably be happy with 50. Well, happy with 50, but you know what I mean. 10 laps is a nice round number. So 75 that's an absolutely incredible target. So good luck, mate. And
best of luck, Freddie. Get stuck in.
And speaking of festivals, it's Glastonbury this weekend, isn't it?
It is, yes.
People were slagging runners off, actually, the last Glastonbury, for turning it into a bit of a breakfast run, because normally people are just going back to their tent at like 7 o'clock. But because of the boom of running, there is now like an unofficial parkrun, I think, on one of the mornings, or maybe a daily thing where people will run around the site and just do like a 5K. And there's people with running vests and like Varga caps. And most diehard festivalers can't believe what they're seeing, that runners are, people are bringing their running shoes to Glastonbury. Would you take your running shoes to a festival, to Glasgow?
Well, I've never been to Glastonbury, but when we did, what's the one at Ragley Hall that I went to, Camper Calling at Ragley Hall, I took all my running kit and on the Sunday morning, got up, ran home, fed my cats, and then went back to the festival.
Well, that's not too bad. But I mean, like, would you run around the site?
Like,
around all the...
I've done that at Volkswagen shows and stuff, taken my running shoes and gone for a run in the morning just to get my running. And then, definitely.
All right, good. Yeah.
If it's a run day, I'm running.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that. We've got no choice. It's not our choice. We have to run. So
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So fair play to anyone that goes to Glasgow this weekend.
Who's headlining Glastonbury this year? I've taken no notice of it.
I'll be honest, it's not the best. Tonight, Friday night's in the 1975.
Okay.
Glasgow headliners. Let's have a look. We've got Olivia Rodrigo.
Who?
I'm too old. I'm too old to even know who that is. Biffy Clyro, Friday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Alanis Morissette's there.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Oh, Supergrass are there, but they're at 12 o'clock on the Friday. They're at the wrong time. They should be headlining Supergrass.
So God is there on the Friday.
God.
Alanis Morissette.
Oh, because of the film?
Yeah,
Dogma.
Dogma, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great film. Alanis Morissette. She's brilliant. Boop. Saturday, Neil Young. Is that as in the Neil Young?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Is it Neil Young and Crazy Horse, or just Neil Young?
Neil Young and the Chrome Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Other people you can see on the Saturday are The Script, the Kaiser Chiefs. Again, they've got the graveyard shift. They're on at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Patchwork, never heard of them. Ray, Raye. No. Brandy Carlisle. Is that the person that keeps singing loads of stuff with Elton John at the moment? Don't know. A few people on Sunday.
But the headliner for the Saturday is Neil Young?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's 10 o'clock on the stage.
So we've got the 1979 and Neil Young. And
you've
for Sunday.
You've instantly showed your age there, because they're called the 1975.
What did I say?
The 1979.
Oh, did I? Sorry. Yeah. I know a couple of the songs, but I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. I like Chocolate. That's quite a good song.
See, there's that is a good. That's on my running playlist, actually. This is a strange one, because I think this is headline material, but this person's on at 3:45 on the Sunday. Rod Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
No,
past his bedtime?
yeah,
Is it
no
past?
thanks.
But he's got a plethora. He's got a lot of stuff. He could rock if Dolly Parton can headline. I think Rod Stewart can
Yeah,
headline.
but Dolly Parton can still do it quite well. Rod Stewart's awful now. He needed to retire about 10, 15 years ago.
I actually haven't seen him sing, but maybe that's why he's on at 3:00 on the Sunday.
Yeah.
The Libertines, 2:00. Nile Rodgers. Nile Rodgers is pretty cool, isn't he?
Yeah, chic.
Noah Khan. Noah Khahan. Kahan. And Olivia Rodrigo headlining the Sunday night.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, not the best lineup, but
No.
I'm sure Biffy Clyro will be pretty good. They're on tonight. Today,
Yeah.
I think today's the best day. Alanis Morissette, Biffy Clyro in 1975.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you went to Glasgow, let us know how you got on.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
We'd love to see if you went for a run.
Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully you didn't have a similar experience as Daphne and Celeste. That was it. Reading they did once, or was that Glasgow?
Yeah. No,
and
it
they
was
got
Reading.
bottled off.
Yeah.
I can't believe they went on stage and were singing "Ooh, stick you, your mama too,
and your daddy."
Oh, what was their other song? UGLY. You ain't got no alibi.
Yeah, you ugly.
What a band! Underrated, underappreciated in their own time. So shall we move on?
Yes. So, I need to make an apology first of all for last week because I said I actually haven't put this photo up on our Instagram yet. I should have. I completely forgot. But I said I went to the Halloween Mighty Boosh show dressed as Tony Robinson.
Tony Robinson.
I meant Tony Harrison. Tony Robinson is Baldrick from Blackadder, or the bloke who does Time Team.
Yeah, but it sounds crazy, but that's perfectly passable for the Mighty Boosh. But that's not his correct name, is it?
No. Tony Harrison is the correct name. So there we go. Anyway, let's quickly go before we move on to our big feature for the next 6 weeks.
Oh my God, that's not even on my list. Okay. How did I forget that?
Let's go on to training for the week. Now, here's something.
Yep.
This week, I actually did something to get my heart rate out of zone 1.
What did you do?
On Tuesday, I went down to the gym and I did half an hour really easy on the static bike.
Yeah.
That was all zone 1. So I didn't actually get out of zone 1 on the bike. Just did 30 minutes. And then I did 5 minutes on the ski erg and 10 minutes on the row machine.
Ah, good.
So
how did that feel? That must have felt good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, really good. But I think I might have overdone it slightly, seeing as I'd done 8 weeks of nothing. I think I went for it a bit too much on the ski erg and the row machine, because I then went to bed and woke up the next morning with I'd either slept funny or I hadn't quite stretched my shoulders properly, and I pulled something in my shoulder, so I couldn't quite move my neck or my shoulder properly because it hurt.
Oh.
But it's all good. It was quite nice to actually go and get a little bit of a sweat on.
Yeah, good. Cool. Oh, that's awesome.
So so I'm going to go again on either Saturday or Sunday and just go and slowly get back into doing something whilst I still can.
Yeah, cool.
But what about your training this week?
I haven't done a hell of a lot. I didn't go to club this week because I'm going to do this 5K race, time trial, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow. And I went out on Tuesday for an accidental massive run. I didn't expect it to be so big. So I decided I was going to go to club, but I felt let me start a few days before, because I didn't tell you about Parkrun, did I?
No.
So Saturday, I totally copied the Q on the Run boys, and I did a pre-Parkrun session before Parkrun. And I tell you what, it was brilliant. I don't think I've enjoyed a parkrun like that for so long. It was a really good way to start a Saturday. To start, to do a session before parkrun and then do a hard parkrun as well.
Yeah,
It's like a really good way to train. So I went down with a similar idea to what the Q on the Run boys did. But I think they did 5 by a K or 3 by a K when they went and did it. They probably did 3 by a K, didn't they?
No, I think they did.
Or was it 5?
More than that. Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, fair play to them. No, it would have, because they were moving at 3:20, wouldn't they? So that would only be 15 minutes of effort. So yeah, it probably was 5 by a K. And yeah, so I went down there and did, but it was stiflingly hot. So I was going to do something similar with bigger pace blocks, but I decided against it, and I did 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. So I did 1 minute.
20 minutes in one go.
No, not 20 minutes in one go. Yeah, I got a 5K PB, and then I did a 5K PB of walking, of recovery.
Yeah.
So I did 1 minute on, 1 minute off. And I did, the ons were faster than 5K pace. So, that's where I wanted to be.
Nice.
So in Ks, I wanted to run between 350 or 345 and 355. So that's probably about 6:15, 6:10 a mile, maybe even quicker. And I went down there and did, so it went quite well. And it was obviously a 40-minute session. It was all done on my watch. So I knew when to go and when to recover. So that was easy. And I just did the parkrun course, probably about 3.5 times or something like that. And I was going to do jog recoveries, but because it was so warm and I knew I had parkrun coming up, I decided to walk the recoveries.
Yeah.
And at the start, I thought, well, this feels a bit too easy. But then halfway through, I thought, well, this is creeping up on me. And towards the end, I was like, this is actually quite an intense session. But the good thing is about doing the 1 minute on is that it's just maintainable enough so it doesn't feel too difficult. And so I ended up doing 20 minutes of 5K pace, which was good. Then I got my nice 20 minutes of recovery in as well. And then straight into parkrun, which is where I saw you when you were volunteering. Yeah. And I'd said I wanted to do somewhere between 21 and 21 and a half, which for me is fairly brisk. And let's not forget, that's only, I ended up doing it in 21:18. And that's only 40 seconds slower than my time trial.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago. And considering the fact that felt fairly controlled, I think that puts me in a fairly good place, I think.
Yeah. Especially as you've done 5K of effort before.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was really, really pleased. And I was having a chat with you after about this. And I was thinking, I wonder if the reason it felt so good is because I'd done a fair bit of training before I went into it.
You were fully warmed up and ready to go for it, yeah.
Yeah, so for tomorrow's 5K effort, obviously I won't be doing a session beforehand, but I think I will get my heart rate up to around just above threshold, only for 10 minutes or so, maybe not even that.
Get some priming done before you run that 5K. So, maybe half a mile. Half a mile or so of about threshold sort of pace. So about half marathon pace. Will get you ready, and then maybe have 10-15 minutes before the start of the parkrun to get back down and recover. So when you start off that parkrun, you're ready. But you've had that bit of effort in your body first to prime your body ready for it. So when you start off that 5K effort, you're not using the lactic anaerobic bit that you'll need for the end of the 5K when you're going for that sprint finish.
Yeah, and as well, I'm going to need to actually run my shoes in.
Yes, exactly.
I've never even put these on outside my lounge. Yeah. So it's going to be a strange kind of feeling. So I might have to do, everything from easy right up to strides, and just to see how the shoes feel. So it's not such a big surprise for the actual 5K. But so I'm going to be getting a good warm up done tomorrow because I'm going to choose Long Eaton. That's where I'm going to go, because that just seems like a really fast course with loads of sub 20 people in there every week.
Nice.
And it seems like a good course, and it's a bit of a road trip, so it's about an hour away. And me and Laura love a bit of a pastry challenge, so no doubt we'll find somewhere and
local bakery or a market stall to
yeah,
wipe them out.
Yeah, we'll go up to Derbyshire and no doubt we'll have about 14 Bakewells or something, and we'll probably have some nice local delicacies. But then I then went for my Sunday long run and did about a 20-ish kilometre run, so just under a half marathon, but that was nice and easy, but with a couple of big hills in, which felt nice. And then that was the end of the week done, 70k, my biggest amount of volume since Leeds.
Nice.
And then moving on to this week, I did 10k.
Carry on. I'm just going to run to the loo. I'm listening to you, but I'm going to run to the loo whilst you tell everybody about your week.
Is your microphone still on? Are we going to hear you go to the toilet?
No, the mic's in the room.
Okay, good.
Not on there, yeah.
Just in case you get carried away. And I went on to do I've called it on Strava here, an accidental massive hill run, because I went to do just an easy trail run, because I thought I don't really fancy doing a session at club because my calves feel a bit tight. So I thought, I'll go and do a trail run. Trails are easy, aren't they? No. So I went up to the Worcestershire Way and I did 5k out and 5k back. I did 364 meters of gain. So it's over 1,000 foot in 10k. And I did it in 1 hour 6. So not slightly slower than easy pace, but when you factor in, the terrain I was running on and the gradients and the hills, I was quite pleased with that. So that was Tuesday's run. Then I went down to Bournemouth because I had a bit of work down there by the sea on Wednesday and Thursday. So checked into the hotel after work, down tools, and straight away, instead of just chilling for the rest of the night, got me running kit on, went down to the beach, ran up to Sandbanks from Bournemouth and then back and a little bit more. And I did 10k. And that was really nice and hot in the sun. And it was so flat. And I forgot how nice it is to run on a beach promenade because there's no elevation. But your biggest obstacle is the headwind. Because in this country, we get the westerlies we get, especially on the south coast, are so bad. So on that south coast, running one direction is fine, but running the other direction is horrid. And I found that out I really found that out yesterday morning, Thursday morning. So I went for an easy progressive run where I only progressed to sort of a steady pace and then back down. I ran out and I thought, where's the wind? I thought it was windy this morning. Got to my turnaround point. I thought, there it is. Turned round and it was like pushing a blooming. It was like pushing a Land Rover. That's what it felt like. Because I didn't realise, but I had this tailwind on the way out, but on the way back. I just did a progressive run and I peaked at the middle of the run, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I started at an easy pace, progressed to steady pace, and then came back down the mountain, and then went. But so by the time I'd finished the run, I was running easy.
Yeah.
Which felt nice. So I've done a 10k, and a 16, a 10 miler yesterday. So that's put me at 36 for the week so far, which is pretty much on target.
Nice.
And with my 5 or 10k tomorrow, and then a long run, I'll be back up to about 70k. So I'm feeling good at this mileage, and feeling quite fit, to be honest. I do quite like feeling. Whether I'm fast or not, I don't know. But from my Leeds training block, I just feel quite fit. And what I liked running on the beach about yesterday is because it was, especially with that tailwind, my heart rate was so low and I was running fairly quick, if you know what I mean. So running easy, just under 145 beats a minute, under 150, I was running at like almost 5 minutes a K, almost 8 minute miling, which is fast for me. And then when I turned around, I couldn't do that when I ran against the wind. But I still kept the pace up anyway. So my heart rate was at about 160 by the end. But it was really nice to run on the flat of the beach promenade and in the sunshine. So that was good. So that's my training done. So I'm hopefully going to be ready to give it a good full send, as they say, tomorrow, and I'm not going to go out blisteringly hot, but I'm probably going to go and try and prepare to fail tomorrow, if you know what I mean. I'm going to have that attitude where I'm going to go out at PB pace and then try and hang on, rather than try and work into it in negative split. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where you are after your short summer of speed.
Summer of speed. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where you are 5K wise and how close or how much under that original time trial that you did a few weeks ago you can get.
Yeah. So my 3 targets are: A target is PB, B target is sub 20, C target beat the time trial, and then anything after that, it's just shameful. So if I come in slower than my time trial, I'll be like, well, that was a waste of 5 weeks then, wasn't it? And 180 quid. So yeah, I'm hopeful I can at the very least beat my Warsaw time.
Yeah, what's your prediction for tomorrow, would you say?
I don't know if I'm in PB shape. Partly because I had life on the road scenario. I had KFC and a McDonald's within 24 hours. Probably shouldn't admit that. And yeah, I think my prediction would be about a 1955.
Cool.
PB's 1938. But yeah, I think 1955 would be around about where I think I can push to tomorrow. But we shall see. We shall see. New course, new shoes, new people to run with, and all that. And who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a race mentality tomorrow. So I'm going to try and race it.
Is Rich going there? So you're going to have a pacer or?
No. So I won't really know anybody there. So yeah, Beardy Rich wanted to get involved, but he's working.
Okay.
Although he did want to get involved at Bushy, didn't he, with the pacing?
Yes, and then just left you for this.
Yeah. Kept me camera and then filmed himself running through the finish. He's like, yeah, but he's got like a sickness with the finish line, hasn't he? He sees it, or he knows he's 500 meters away,
and he
just runs like a man possessed. So Beardy Rich has got the kick of like Bruce Lee, hasn't he? He's just, he's just. I would go as far as to say, if I was up against him, or if you find yourself up against Beardy Rich, I just let him crack on, because he is uber competitive. Rich is. He never let on to that, but he loves a sprint finish. And I know him, and I think I know him pretty well. And I don't think he would like being overtaken in the finish of any race, even the kids' race, even junior parkrun. I don't think he'll like being overtaken. So, but yeah, he's a good old runner, is our Beardy Rich. But no, he's done Long Eaton. He said it's a great course. And so I'm going to channel my inner Beardy Rich tomorrow and
excellent.
See if I can finish it with a Faith Kipyegon-esque sprint pace like he normally does.
Nice. Good. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So next up on my list is our big feature, which is Parkrun the red line.
Yeah,
we need a way of saying it, because we've got Summer of Speed, we've got Strava segment. How are we going to say this?
Do you want to say it in like an accent or something?
Go on then. I'll let you.
No, I was going to. Can you do a good accent? Any accents in your locker?
No, only one I can really do sort of okay is Australian.
Please, yes, please.
I'll have to put mate in front of it, because that's how I
get it. That's fine. So welcome to today's new edition of
Mate, Parkrun the red line.
Love it. So there you go. That's the new intro for the next 6 weeks. So give us give us some stats.
So I would say probably 2/3 of our 50 runners who are on our spreadsheet took part in Parkrun last week. As we said, they don't need to run it every week for all 6 weeks. They can choose which weeks they run it. They could jog it every week and go for it on the last week. They could jog it 1 week, go for it the next, jog it the next, go for it the next. It's completely up to them how they plan their 6 weeks of Parkrun in the Red Line to try and achieve as close to their PB as they can. And from last week, we had some really good times, actually, and a good spread of times, but some really good efforts. And there was 5 people who were all within a minute of their PB last week. So less than 60 seconds off their PB. And I'll just give all those 5 a shout out as our top 5 from last week. So with 50 seconds over their PB was Mark Griffiths. So awesome work there, Mark.
What a Mark.
With 46 seconds over their PB was Steve Hobson. So awesome work, Steve. 39 seconds above their PB was Brett Crow. So great work, Brett. Do you know that sounds really odd saying Brett about somebody else? It's not very often I say that.
Not many Bretts around, are there?
No. Then our second place. So Brett was our third place on last week's leaderboard. Our second place on last week's leaderboard and 11 seconds off their PB, which was an awesome effort, was Martin Maguire.
Oh, well done, Martin.
So amazing work. To get within 11 seconds on the first attempt, it was pretty good. Obviously, some people handicapped themselves by getting a PB the week before we started. But
sorry
there we
about that,
go.
guys.
But then our first place on the leaderboard from last week actually got a new PB.
Wow, so talk about setting the bar. Yeah.
Oh no. So our first week of Parkrun in the Red Line and somebody set a new PB and they went 7 seconds under their previous PB. So that is the new target to hit, is 7 seconds under your PB. And that was Matthew Morris. So
well done, mate.
Amazing work, Matt. I think he managed to break 18 minutes for the first time. So yeah, amazing work.
That's a really good shift at the office.
Yes.
Really, really good shift at the office. Well done, mate. So to put that into perspective for me, I've got to run 19:30. Bloody hell! Tomorrow, if I want to win this competition,
there you go.
I've got to run at least 19:30. Okay, right. Cheers, Matt. It's made it even harder for me.
Yeah, but what I will do is I will put up a top 10 list of last week's runners, and that top 10 will go onto our Instagram, so you can all check it out and see how everybody is doing in our Parkrun in the Red Line table. We have got graphs on our Parkrun in the Red Line.
We do.
This graph at the top, this is how close to your PB you got. So we've got lots of people who are taking part, and I will put up some data onto our Instagram so you can all see. But yeah, amazing work from everybody so far. It's great to see loads of people getting involved.
Should we see if anybody is going to do it? Should we call it a full Monty? If anyone does 6 out of 6, yeah. So you'll get a special mention if you do a full Monty.
Yeah.
But no prize. But we think, come up with a official prize for the winner.
Yes.
Shall we say what it is?
Ooh, I don't know. Shall we, or should we keep them hanging on?
I think we should, because I think
Go on then.
this will give people an extra bit of motivation.
Go on then.
I say this with sort of trepidation because we haven't actually decided exactly what it is yet. But we can give you an idea.
Yeah, this is one part of of the prize.
The winner with the most amount of seconds taken off will receive the coveted or a coveted park running the red line mug. We haven't thought this through, because what about if one of our Aussies wins it, or Americans?
We'll still post it.
We'll have to pay about 30 quid shipping.
Yeah,
they'll have to pay about 50 quid import tax.
Yeah, but we'll
turn up smashed.
We'll still ship it, but it will be a one of one, so a one-off park running the red line mug, and we will make sure it is personalised with your name and your new parkrun PB time, and as a bit of a celebration of you achieving what you did during these 6 weeks. Yeah,
and you can tell all your people that you have over for dinner and tea, when you make them a cup of tea and you give them that famous mug, they'll be like, why does it say mate park running the red line on it? I know, you're supposed to say it in an Australian accent.
Yeah. But it's awesome that I'm still amazed that we got 50 people who have entered. But I will put a top 10 together to put onto our Instagram, so you can see where you are on that list. But as more people start to do their parkruns, the leaderboard may change and it will start to get a bit fuller, and we can share even more information and more stats each week. So make sure, if you aren't, make sure you are following our Instagram, so you can get all of the updates of Park Running the Red Line, and you can see all of the information of what's happening. And make sure you are tagging us in your Park Running the Red Line posts when you are making your park run efforts, and we will share them on our page as well. But let's all get involved. Go over there and follow us on Instagram so you can see what is happening and all the information that's going to be put out there.
Yeah, so week 1 of Park Running the Red Line done. Exciting. Yes. So bring on week 2. Well, shall we crack on with some comments and emails? Because I've got to go to work soon. I've got to start work at 12 and it's 22 minutes past.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
I'm working from home, so it's not a strict schedule, but
okay.
Cool. I am slightly conscious of time. But shall we start with a few emails that we had from last week that I said we'd read out?
Yes.
So we had an email from New Zealand, or I should say New Zealand, from Jordan Knapp, who went over and raced the Comrades Marathon, which is a bit more than a marathon. Or is it just called? Yeah, it is called Comrades Marathon. Yeah. So Comrades has, I think it changes every year from what they call an up year or a down year. So that's point to point. And one year it starts in Pietermaritzburg and runs to a place called Durban. And the other one starts in Durban and goes up to Pietermaritzburg, or down. I can't remember. But this year, I think, was a down run. So you start in Pietermaritzburg and you end in Durban. But they've moved the finish line, which apparently has made it even longer. So it's now nearly 90 kilometers of running. And you have what I think is a strict 12-hour cutoff. Now, 90K is more than 50 miles. It's probably about 56 miles, I think, isn't it?
Somewhere around there.
That will be an incredibly hard thing to do. And I think you're probably thinking in your head, well, it's downhill for a big portion of this. That's probably going to help me. But could you imagine, I don't know, 30 plus miles of downhill? Could you imagine what that would do to you? Your legs. That must be. Anyway, so let's just read this email then from Jordan. Hi, Brett and Andy. Just giving my update on Comrades. Pod-friendly answer, yeah, it were all right. So, not so pod-friendly answer. To begin with, I trained 1,800 Ks from January the 1st to June the 8th. Got myself to the point where my fitness was the strongest it's ever been, being able to sit at 440 a K while in zone 2. So the target pace of at least 6 kilometers, 6-minute Ks was manageable, right? While and that's a half an hour 5K. While traveling from New Zealand to South Africa, 27 hours of flying, and getting no sleep during said flights led me to being sleep deprived and quite stressed in the week leading up. The day of the race, I was so nervous, woke up at 1:45 in the morning to get to the start line. Oh, that's another thing. It's a brutally early start, isn't it, for this race?
Yeah.
To get to the start. I was sweating from the nerves for hours and got to the start line with a dry mouth, brackets not good. The start was incredible with 20,000 people lined up singing the South African national anthem, Shozoloza. Shozoloza. I don't know how to say that. And cheers during Chariots of Fire. When I began running, my heart rate was way, way, way too high for what I was doing, sitting in zone 3 and creeping into 4 while only doing 6-minute Ks to 6:20. So I knew that I was in trouble from the first kilometre. Cut to 38 and both my calves were continuously cramping one after the other. It was dreadful. At 74, my legs had enough and were fully locking with cramp, even when I went into a walk stop to stop the cramps. The crowd support was immense, with spectators spraying my calves with deep heat without even me asking. But sadly, I could no longer run, but figured that I could walk in the last 16. I didn't achieve my planned goal of 9 hours, the brackets, the Bill Rowan medal, or even below 10, the Robert Mitchali medal, but came in at 10:46, which is a bronze medal, painfully jogging the final 500 with the Welsh flag flying for my nan and family to see on the live stream, which made them cry tears of joy. Amazing. To finish, I will do this race again next year, but it will be the up run rather than down, which I give more time for jet lag to ease travel from the UK to South Africa. I will decide in the future, but it shows even with as strong as a build that I had for comrades, leading week and day can easily ruin a planned goal for a race. If you guys ever get the chance, I would highly recommend this race as it stands in its own league for an ultra marathon, with the majority of the 90K having immense crowd support from the locals that have grown up with this 104-year-old race. Plus the stacked history of the race, for example, Arthur Seat, who was the most multiple winner of comrades back in the 20s, who used to smoke a pipe during his training runs along the route and look out of the valley of 1,000 hills before continuing his training run. Doffing the cap, laying a flower at his seat and saying, "Good morning, Arthur," is supposed to give you good luck in the second half of the race, to give an example of one of the many traditions and historical stories of the race. Definitely a race worth having a good nosy of it all. If you are interested in seeing my experience firsthand, I've got a video of the race on my YouTube channel, JK Running 66. All the best, guys. Jordan. And he sent a couple of pictures here. There he is with his Welsh flag flying. Sorry, Jordan, I thought you were from New Zealand. Maybe he is. I don't know, because he did do the Auckland Marathon. And here he is with his medal. And what I love about the comrades is look how small that medal is.
That's ace. Love it.
It's so small. And yeah.
It's like a war medal rather than a Olympic medal, isn't it?
I bet it feels like a war
battle
medal, because he's also said here that there are different types of medals. So you can get a gold medal, which is the first 10 men and women. You can get a Wally Hayward. Men is position sub 6 hours, position 11 to sub 6. There's another I can't read here, which is the women's version, which is position 11 to sub 7 hours 30. A silver medal is from 6 to 7:30. A Bill Rowan is from 7:30 to 9 hours. Robert Mitchali is 9 to 10 hours. A bronze medal is 10 to 11. And the last medal you can get, which I can imagine, excuse me, is like basically do or die, because it's either that or nothing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make the cutoff, you don't get a medal, which is the Vic Clapham, and that's 11 hours to sub 12. So
amazing.
Is that up your street? Do you think, the comrades? 90k, 56 mile in one go, under 12 hours?
I'd love to do it one day, but I'm still in the headspace of I want to go as fast as I can in the marathon first, and then when I start getting slower, I'll go for the longer distances.
What I think is interesting about this race is it's because it's a road race, you still strategize it like it were a road shorter race, like a 10k or a half or one marathon. So there you can see that Jordan is running comfortably at 4:40 a k. That's my Valencia pace. That's zone 2 for him. So he's a fast runner. He can run on that evidence, not far off a sub 3 race marathon, maybe 3:10, 3 hours ish, if he's running zone 2 4:40. And he's done what, 10.5 hours, 10:46. So it just shows you how difficult a race that is to pace. And he even paced it smartly, and it still came, the race still smashed him around the face. And he had to walk the last 10 miles, 16k. So it just shows you what an undertaking that race is. But wow, what an achievement. That's incredible, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, amazing.
So Jordan, very, very well done. And I'm sure your friends and family watching back home are very, very immensely proud, as are we from the Running the Red Line podcast. So
definitely.
Yes, we shall go and check out your video as well. This next one.
Yeah, it's definitely one to think about in the future, though, isn't it? It's definitely a high profile one, which you hear so much about, and to be able to say you've been there and you've managed to complete it must be such a proud achievement. And
it's not like you can go there and just walk it. It's like a 12-hour or nothing race.
Yeah.
So you have to train for that. You can, I do believe that you can just about blag a marathon, just about. You can get to the finish line of a marathon, just about anybody can, with enough self-belief and enough, basic amount of training. Yeah. But let's take, I don't know, the London Marathon, for example. You'll see people completing that and up to, I don't know, 8 hours plus 12 hours. You can get to the end of that. This, no. This you've got to put the work in.
Yeah.
And this, you can't mess about with this race, can you? I can't imagine how tough it is. So very, very, very well done.
I don't think you can mess about with any ultra, can you? It's a very
Not really.
It's a very different type of running, isn't it, to anything up to a marathon. And it's all about upping your head, being able to get through that distance.
But with those brutal cut-off times as well.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were 30 seconds away or even closer to the finish line, and they just say, no, all the volunteers come out and stop you, don't they? So, it looks absolutely amazing, though. But I don't know if you've seen any videos on it. Ben Parks has done one. It's really, really good. And it looks like the atmosphere is, that sort of African welcome that everyone seems to get, and the choral chanting and the singing and the groups of people, and they call them buses, which I love, where groups of 50, 100 plus people will run together in a tight pack, and they'll call that a bus. And you can get on that bus, and it's just amazing. So, looks amazing. But speaking of epic challenges, I'm just going to read out Lorne Downey has written in. And he says, evening chaps, hope as well. Sorry, this might not be a short one, but just no need to read it all because this might break the 3-hour barrier. Well, I'll try my best. Last weekend was the long-awaited The Wall Ultra, and it still hasn't sunk in that I actually completed it. The main aim was to finish in one piece with a sneaky A goal of getting it done before midnight. I got picked up at 3:30 in the morning, taken to Carlisle for a 6:15 start in torrential rain, thunder and lightning. Reached checkpoint 1 at 15 miles, absolutely soaked, but feeling good. Managed to get the waterproof jacket off for all of 20 minutes before the downpour started again. On a steep uphill walk to checkpoint 2 at 24 miles, I started to feel some cramp in my right hammy that would keep cropping up throughout the day. Uncomfortable, but not full-on crippling. Between 2 and 3 checkpoints is only 6 miles, but wow, what a section. Up and down over the hills, lots of big stone steps, and up and down the steep gradients, over stiles and lethal muddy patches due to rain. The sun came out with a vengeance. The sun came out with a vengeance, absolutely roasting from then on. After checkpoint 3 is a long 14-mile stretch to Hexham, which starts with around half an hour of uphill hike before running along a very straight Roman road for 10 miles. Hexham was a relief to change clothes and shoes, and after that, it was a massive battle, both mentally and physically, all the way to the finish. Struggled quite a lot with a lack of energy, but trying to force anything was making me feel very sickly. Other participants helping one another along and giving words of encouragement were massive on these later sections when a fair few people have resorted to just walking it in. Did my best to keep up some jogging, but that got harder and harder, and I was clinging on to a run-walk method at around 14, 15 minutes a mile. But I did it. As a guy who 3 years ago was over 20 stone and couldn't run for a bus, to now be 13 stone and able to allow my little legs to take me 70 miles is absolutely amazing to me. I finished at 23:10 in a time I finished at 10 past 11 at night in a time of 16 hours, 49 minutes and 22 seconds. 7 hours of that was the last 3 running the Red Line podcasts. And the other 10 wondering whether I should consider trying earwax removal therapy. An incredible once-in-a-lifetime type of experience, but not one I'm sure we'll be rushing to repeat anytime soon. Cheers, Lorne. Wow.
Amazing. Yeah.
What a great story. And that is an amazing achievement, like you say. To be such a different version of yourself with only a few years in between is massive.
Yeah, that's incredible. It sounds brutal as well, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Because it's trails are just, the terrain is just the concentration levels to, your foot placement and, running at night and in the dark and in the rain. And
I was going to say, and to be wet from the start.
That's not ideal. That's not ideal.
No. So
very, very well done. And I'm sure that was a very memorable event for you. So
yeah,
from us too. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, incredible.
And, see you next year. I know you said never again, but I bet £5 says you sign up.
Yeah.
So well done, mate. And
that's the problem with running, isn't it? You always say never again, and then within a week you're like, I reckon I could do that better.
Yeah, I reckon do that faster.
Yeah.
I feel all right now. I could probably do that again. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, very well done. So,
cool.
Do you want to read a few? Have we got time for a few comments?
Jumped on some comments. Right. So, first one is from No Bips Just Bops, and this is from episode 66. So from a few episodes back. And they say, bit late to the party as I'm catching up now as my long runs are back on. But the heel striking thing was out of date many years ago. I used to coach triathlon, and about 10 plus years ago did some CPD, and the summary at the time of the scientific literature was that heel striking was only really an issue at very high speeds. Can't remember the speed, but certainly not something most people can reach or sustain. Or if it wasn't your natural gait, like you're trying to force yourself to heel strike, which decades ago was also a coaching trend, I believe. Since then, the consensus seems to have been that a majority of heel striking is bad, came from heel striking as a symptom of overstriding rather than heel striking itself, and the barefoot movement of the late noughties. I stopped coaching a few years ago, so haven't kept up with the science, but I'm not aware of a consensus change. If you think about it, most people's walking gait is heel striking, so certainly going slower needn't be an issue. Anyway, better stop typing. I've got several more hours of running the red line to catch up on. But I think that's true. The whole thing of heel striking being bad, has sort of been proved to be wrong, because most people do heel strike. It's just if you start running at full speed and you're still heel striking, it means you're overstriding, and that's where it becomes bad, because you're putting more force through your heel and sort of braking every time you take a step. So that's where you want to be more on your midfoot and forefoot. But naturally, as you speed up, you do get more up onto your toes, don't you? So but thank you for that. Next one is from the Great 772, and it is from episode 68. And they say, "Hi guys, haven't missed any episodes yet."
Wow,
excellent. It's a long run must. Have to mention this about barefoot running shoes. I know you love them, Brett. Yeah, yes, I do. Over the last couple of months, I just couldn't shift these niggles in my left and right ankles. My mileage has been increasing, and along with it, the pain and niggles, annoyingly. After checking the worn soles of my dailies and looking at event photos, I supinate like crazy. And after listening to a Stephen Bartlett podcast about foot health, I decided to run with barefoot running shoes twice a week, sandwiching the weekly block. It's been about 4 weeks now, and wow, it's changed my foot strike. I'm landing more evenly on my midfoot now, and it feels like a form of foot therapy, to be honest. Anyway, take care, guys. Hope to see Brett and Andy do a sub 40 late. Hope to see Brett help Andy to a sub 40 later in the year. Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm back running, and I can help him later in the year. But barefoot running, I'm still. It can really help for some people, but what I'm against is telling people who have never tried barefoot running and don't understand that you need to change your foot strike to wear barefoot shoes and it will sort all of their problems. That's where I'm a bit dubious, because you need to run completely differently. Because if you continue to run with your bad form, and if you are heel striking in barefoot shoes, that's not a good thing, because barefoot running, you have to change to a midfoot or forefoot strike, because you need to use your calves and your Achilles as your natural suspension. If you are heel striking, all that shock's going straight through your body. So you have to use your your toes and then your calves and your Achilles as a form of suspension of your body to take the impact as you're running. So that's where I don't like the whole thing. You need to change to barefoot running to improve your body. Not necessarily, because it can cause problems as well. But if it's working for you, that's incredible, amazing. But what I will say about Stephen Bartlett and his podcast, because he had someone on talking about barefoot running and everything. Stephen Bartlett, who is advertising Vivo Barefoot like they're the best thing since sliced bread, coming from the guy who I've seen running an easy run through the woods in a pair of Alpha Flies. So I'm not going to take any advice from Stephen Bartlett.
He's the British Joe Rogan, isn't
he? But there we go. So, Next one is from Sam from Light It Up. And he says, "That's it. That's the record. I managed my entire commute before any running was mentioned at all." Incredible scenes. Jurassic Park, Starship guitar solos, cinema roofs falling off, the Silver Beetles, Thomas the Tank Engine's elderly abuse, goth memes, and more. The greatest yet.
Goth memes. Were we really talking about Thomas the Tank Engine? We were, weren't we?
I know. It's bad. Next one's from Steve Hardy. Great episode, lads. Love the 2000s comedy references throughout. What are both of your thoughts on easy paces, and actually how easy should they be for a marathon block? For instance, I'm a 42-minute 10K runner, and 5-minute 30 pace per kilometre feels quite easy for a run like 10K. But then on a longer run, like 15K upwards, I end up in zone 3 quite a lot at that sort of pace and feel I should be running slower on my easy recovery runs. How slow would you guys run on a recovery / slow zone 2 run for your paces for context? So,
well, shall I go, because I talk kilometres and this might help?
yes.
Was this from Steve?
Yes.
Steve. Well, because it sounds like we're a similar sort of pace, and some days I find 5:30s really quite easy, like being down at the beach, down at Bournemouth. You know, when the conditions are flat, you've got a bit of a tailwind, you feel good, all that sort of thing. Then I turn around and run the other way, and 5:30 doesn't feel so easy anymore. So sometimes running to pace, take it with a pinch of salt, because it's going to be easy. But the thing is, I always think, and I always keep coming back to this, you don't set your targets based on heart rate. You don't say, well, what I really want to achieve at the London Marathon is to be in zone 4 for 3 hours of it. Like, you want a 3:20 marathon. Therefore, you need to run at this pace easy, this pace tempo, this pace interval, this pace 5K pace. So that's why I think effort is your best friend. And sometimes heart rate can be misleading sometimes, because the factors are so... in our life, we've got so many uncontrollables. Yeah. So yes, I would say stick to the 5:30s no matter what's in front of you. Even if it's a hill, just try and get up at 5:30, because your body will thank you when you have a hill in a race, because you'll be running probably a lot faster than that. And when you know how it feels running at 5:30, you'll know that you can run a bit faster. And the recovery thing, just run at 6-minute 5:50s for recoveries, but don't do too long a recovery run. Like, maybe don't do a 20 half marathon at recovery pace, because that'll probably take you a little bit too long, and that will probably start having a detrimental effect on your muscles. So for me, recovery runs don't need to be any longer than, say, 10K, 5K, somewhere between 5 and 10. But yeah, don't be scared to run slow, but also don't worry too much about if you think you're running fast or too slow. So sounds like you're bang on the money at the moment.
Yeah. Just for example, my target marathon pace was 6:20 a mile. And I was running my steady long runs between 7 and 7:30 per mile. And then my slower runs were more around 8-minute miles. So my recovery runs were 8 minutes a mile. So you can afford to go quite a lot slower in your recovery pace than you do on your long runs, because the whole point of those recovery runs is you recover. You don't want to be going too much into zone 2 and stuff in your recovery runs, because all they're there for is for recovery, to keep your legs moving and get rid of the lactic out of your legs and things like that, and recover. Get the blood flowing through them. So, yeah, recovery runs should be a lot slower, but that steady pace on your long runs, if you're not throwing some marathon pace in there, just keep them nice and steady. And some bits are going to feel a bit harder than others, but yeah, it's a difficult one sometimes, because if you're too busy looking at heart rate, you can really scare yourself that you are in zone 3. But if you're going up a hill, then it's going to be harder effort. So do you pull the effort back and keep within that heart rate zone, or do you keep at that pace and know that you're getting a good workout from it? So I think it all depends on whereabouts in the marathon block you are as well, and what you're actually trying to get out of that long run.
Yeah, but I think effort has become one of my favourite. Say, for example, I'm at Sunday long run. If I wanted a really easy run, I just ran the river back around Worcester. But I don't do that. I run around the hills, because I know there'll be bumps in the road, and I know that some days at some points on that run I'll be in zone 4, and at some points on that run I'll be in like zone 1, because it's just gravity, but I know that it's having a really good training effect on me. But the overall pace is quite slow and the overall effort, hopefully, is quite low. But there will be times where you do have to, get your heartbeat faster, heartbeating a bit because you're going up hills. But yeah, everyone's different. It depends where you live. Maybe you live on the Norfolk Broads where it's really nice and flat, or maybe you live in the Himalayas. Maybe you live in the Wire Forest. I don't know. Where there's loads of hills. So yeah, we're not massive heart rate advocates, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, I've never owned a heart rate monitor.
No. So it's up to you. It just depends how you like to train. Maybe you're a massive metric fan and you love all the metrics that come out of the heart rate data and the shoe data and the stride length and the cadence. Yeah. I don't really pay any attention to that.
There's lots of people who work just to heart rate, and it can work really well for them. But yeah, us too, I don't think we've ever really took that into consideration, have we?
Yeah, like a lot of people say, oh, you need your cadence to be, what's the magic number, 175 or something like that? I don't even know what that means, if I'm being completely honest. Does that mean steps per minute?
Yeah, my cadence is never going to be the perfect one, if they say 175 or whatever, because my cadence, I've got a short, snappy stride. So my cadence is always going to be faster than everyone else's. So I'm not going to work from things like that. I'm just going to go off effort. If it feels easy, it must be easy. That's sort of how I go with it.
Yeah, you can't really say any fairer than that, really. Yeah, keep it easy.
Yeah. Right. Next one is from Matt Southam, and he says, very proud of my A33423 Parkrun, his 5 number Parkrun barcode.
He's one of the old school.
From 2012.
Fair play.
The days of no carbons on the start line and where Strava was still for cyclists. Oh, I remember those days too. I remember those days, Matt. Actually, that sounds awful. Pro 4s and Strava, or it didn't count all the way. It says, bring on the PB buffet. I mean, sorry, the Parkrun in the red line. Not a chance of winning, but would definitely go full send one of the weeks. Need to try and beat Jody Mills to the 16s. Look, Matt, I'm sorry, but neither you nor Jody can get into the 16s. You can't beat me to it. You've got to wait. You're taking advantage of an injured man. You've got to wait for me. I want to have a go to try and get in the 16s first. Don't do it.
Matt is currently at 17:15. What's your Parkrun PB? What's your PB?
17:15. No
way. Wow. That could be a race I'd like to watch one day.
That's what I mean. You can't do it without me, Matt. You've got to wait. No, go for it. Go and get in there 16s, Matt. Go and do it. Definitely. Next one's from Q on the Run. I guess this is TQ. And he says, just reference from the Craig David convo, Brett. Were you there with the rest of them shouting, come back on, Craig David, and carry on playing?
Oh, brilliant.
And then our no, we've got 2 more. Next one again from No Bips, Just Bops, from episode 67. Entertaining ep start to finish, but the highlight for me was suggesting increasing the tongue length on the Evo SL by 100 mil. Did we say 100 mil?
Not 10 mil. 100 mil.
I'm sure we said 10 mil. We must, but probably knowing us, we said 100 mil. Surely that would look like a dog's tongue lolling around.
You look like an old school Puma King, yeah.
Although rather too long than the too short, there will be a way to style it out, I'm sure. Not as disappointing to get some serious gut pain on my run today as it could be. Oh, hang on. Not as disappointing to get some serious gut pain on my run today as it could be. It meant walking in for the last few miles, but getting to listen to a lot more pod and didn't crap myself as well. So all's well.
All is well. Good.
Brilliant. And then last one is from Ian Booth and says, another top episode. quick question for the pod. Have either of you ever attempted to change from miles to kilometres or vice versa? This week, I have attempted to swap miles for kilometres, and it's like attempting to write with your other hand. But I got sick of being asked, what is that in kilometres? Every time I did a run and was talking to someone who didn't use miles, pretty much everyone I know uses kilometres. I was one of the only people I know who still use miles. I'm sure I'll get used to it soon enough, hoping it's second nature by the time I do Worcester City Half in September. Ian, don't do it. Get back to miles.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to
miles.
Brett is writing. No, Brett is writing his podcast notes with a quill and some
I'm going to keep talking over you. I'm going to keep talking
I'll
over you.
just speak over you.
I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
I'm not driving him any metro.
Get back to miles as soon as you can. There is only one way to measure distance and time, and that is miles. And minutes per mile. It's the old, tried and tested way. It makes much more sense. Don't fall into the kilometre trap.
There is no race that is measured by miles.
Yes,
there's a 5K, there's a 10K. A marathon is just called a marathon. It's not called a mile marathon. It's just called it happens to be 26.2 miles, not even 26 miles.
Most half marathons and marathons will have mile markers. Not many will have kilometre markers.
That is true. Do a marathon in Spain. Do a marathon anywhere but America and England and the UK. Bye mile markers. Problem is, I live in the UK.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
that is a problem for me. Yeah, I will admit that. But I just like the simplicity of the metric system.
Well, we shall agree to disagree.
But if you want to keep it old school like Brett with his quill and parchment.
Yeah, I've never tried to work in kilometres, and I don't think I ever will because it just doesn't make sense.
No. And what I like about people that they won't even refer to a 3K race as a 3K race, it's 3,000 meters. They can't even say the word.
No. On a track, a 3,000 meters is 3,000 meters. A 5,000 meters is 5,000 meters. A 10,000 meters is 10,000 meters. Okay. It's only road races that are 5K and 10K. If it's on a track, it's a 5,000 or a 10,000.
It's measured in meters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So there we go.
I actually changed from miles to kilometers in the early days of Strava. And I don't actually know why. I'll tell you why it was, because I was very easily influenced. But similar to you, Ian, right? Lots of people around me, and at the time, the people around me were the people I watched on YouTube. And I couldn't really understand what they were saying when they said, I've just done 5K. So I thought, I'll just flip it over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the only time I use kilometres is on the track. Because that sort of makes sense, because it's a 400-metre track.
I do like, though, being able to almost speak both languages, because that's the good thing about this podcast is you're a mile man and I'm K's. So I constantly have to think, well, what language will Brett understand? Okay, I'm running 6:25 in a mile tomorrow. So that's one thing I've got to try and I've had to try and learn. But actually, it is good if you do measure in Ks, do a half marathon and manually lap split your watch. In fact, don't do that, because I did that at Coventry and the miles just seemed so far. Like a 7-minute 15 mile. And I was like, are you joking? That's one lap.
Yeah.
What? Normally a lap comes up every 4.5 minutes. What's happened? So it can feel very, very different. But there are less of them when you run a marathon.
Yep.
And there's 42 of them when you do a marathon. And there's only 26 when you do them in miles. Sorry if that's clear as mud, but all the best to you.
But anyway, time is ticking on, so we probably need to move to the Strava segment. And unfortunately, Strava's playing up and I can't log into Strava at the moment. So I've had to get Andy to give me all the
basically
things,
Brett
and
wouldn't.
he's had to do the conversion.
Yeah, Brett wouldn't let me read them out in Ks. He wouldn't let me read them out in meters or kilometers. So I've had to transpose it.
Ain't happening.
Yeah.
So anyway, our top 3 for distance this week. In first place is George Gibson with 85.6 miles. Second is Ryan Gowan with 76.8 miles. And third is Tom Pothecary with 75.8 miles. So only 1 mile in between second and third place. Our top 3 with climbing. In first place was George Gibson with 13,828 foot of climbing, which is
4,200 meters. It's a lot.
Which is mad. Yeah. Second place is Aveen D with 6,696 foot. And third was John Braz with 6,423 foot. That is crazy from George, isn't it?
Well, I'm not that I don't believe him, but I'm just having a quick look at his activities to see if I can.
Because across 85 mile, that is mad.
Yeah, I don't know why he's had such a. I can't find the big run.
Unless his GPS has had a crazy meltdown.
Well, if it has, congratulations, George. You put yourself on the other segment.
Yeah, let us know, George, if you're listening. Let us know if that is correct, because that is a crazy amount of climbing. Anyway, then our top 3 ladies. In first place was Rachel Watson with 59.9 miles. In second place was Chloe Hamard with 59.9 miles, the same. So we've had to go to hundredths of a mile, and Rachel gets on the top with 59.96 miles, and Chloe got 59.9 exactly. So 0.06 of a mile in it. So awesome work. And then third was Victoria Lee with 50.1 miles. So amazing work. But yeah, that was mega close at the top of the ladies this week. But yeah, amazing work from everybody. Are you still searching, trying to find out what's going on?
Yeah, I've pressed elevation gain, and I don't know why I can't find it. Strava on laptop is useless. Yeah. So much easier on your phone, because I can't scroll down. You can only see like their last few things. I mean, I can't see anything more what George has done before. Why am I in December? Oh, God's sake. I don't know what I've done. I'm looking at the whole year. Oh, now I'm looking. I might as well find it. Right. What am I doing? I've clicked on 2024. Okay. I can't bother anymore. George, we believe
you. Right. And on that, we shall leave it there. So thank you so much for watching or listening, and we shall see you next week. Cheers, guys.
Take it easy, everybody. See you later.